Podcast Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Price, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Malo,
Gruff Lion.
T-Buggy, man.
Just the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
Yes, sir. You know what time it is, man. It's time for your favorite sports culture podcast. Was I okay? Here we go. I thought it said I was muted. My bad, fellas. But yeah, your favorite sports culture podcast, Gaspers and Sports for the Culture. I'm Young Rome 22. I'm your host for tonight, and I'm gonna kick it to the fellas because we definitely got some interesting topics that are going down tonight. So I'm gonna start with the top left.
What up, man? Scruff Line, good at sports. I'm a little under the weather, you know what I'm saying? Got a little, nasal congestion and shit, but I'm standing on business, you feel me? I got the two drink combo, which is the bourbon and the Theraflu. So let's get it.
So we starting off quoting Drake. If I remember correctly, I believe Scruff wasn't too favorable of that Drake album. We might get into that later though.
We're not talking about music, we're talking about trends and trendy shit. So he's A1 at that.
All right, I'm gonna kick it to the bottom right.
Oh man, I'm somewhere in some pantry still trying to figure out how the fuck am I gonna get a hold of Daniel Jones in the offensive line and Tyrod Taylor now with that bullshit ass play before the half.
Hey, would you say Tyrod played better than Daniels looked this season, G?
Fuck no, both can't even fucking get to the red zone.
No hope for Big Blue. All right, last but never least, bottom left. Introduce yourself.
Boogie, man. Gasoline, AAU, y'all know what it is. Got me a drink too. Peach soju. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my South Koreans. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm gonna pour that up. But
That's soju bomb.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yo, be careful. That's soju. That shit ain't juice.
Hey, okay, so if T starts talking crazy tonight, we know where them crazy talks coming from.
But blame it on the juice. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm ready to get into the show. Gas Elite, we trying to ramp it up. We took a 40-point L over the weekend. Had a lot of players out, things like that. That's part of the game, though. You know what I'm saying? You win some, you lose some, but you live. But yeah, let's have a good show, man. I'm ready to get into it.
We're gonna call you Soju Boy today.
Hey. I was the first to drink soju on the podcast.
Hey, let's get it.
All right, well let's get into it, man. We got some NFL topics for y'all today. We're gonna start with a little segment. What we're gonna call it "Put Some Respect on Their Name." So I got a couple teams I'm gonna toss to y'all. And y'all gonna break down why we should put a little bit of respect on this team's name. G, I'm gonna start with you because you were early on to this, man. C.J. Stroud, you were a big believer in him. So the Texans right now sit at 3-3. They just had a nice little win, nice little dub. Why should we put some respect on the Texans' name?
By respect, what am I saying? Like they're gonna make the playoffs, or like they're gonna be at least a respectable team to go against?
They're in the thick of it right now in the AFC South. I think they're third. Jacksonville's got Trevor Lawrence out. CJ Stroud's looking real nice, man. What you thinking?
I said, yeah, put respect on these guys. Got a chance to be a competitive team, at least win the division. If Trevor Lawrence is out, I know what is his name, Ryan Tannehill. He's out too with an ankle injury.
Anthony Richardson's also out. I mean, it's looking up for the Texans right now.
A lot of you guys had him as your king before during the preseason. Now how the mighty have fallen. How the mighty have fallen. I wasn't a believer of Richardson. I don't know nothing about him in his days over there in Georgia. I mean, not in Georgia, in Florida. At least I know about C.J. Stroud in Ohio State. The boy was a good quarterback, and now he's looking like a great rookie. He's looking like the rookie of the year. So yeah, put some respect in Houston. They have a solid team. It's just Damian Pearson is where I'm so iffy with him because he's supposed to be legit, and he's like, he's still sneaking up the joint. But shout out to them just about C.J. Stroud just throwing the ball, being At least they're running the office through him.
Okay. Scruff, man. What about you? You putting some respect on the Texans?
Yeah, I mean, I'm putting respect on them. I got some fantasy football players that are Texans, and they're doing my thing. They're doing my thing. They've emerged as my number one receiver, Nico Collins, for the year. So shout out to the Texans. You know what I'm saying? But that is not who I'm about to put some respect on. I'm gonna put some respect on the Detroit Lions, with all due respect.
But,
Oh, this is
but how you
interesting
gonna
because
jump?
you've been a big hater on the Lions in the past, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure we could run some tape where you've run down that whole organization.
I have. They're not a winning franchise. They haven't been for years. They don't have a lot of resources, and Detroit's, second-rate city. To be honest, to be honest,
Oh wow.
it's in the category with Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So, with all due respect, the Lions have a lot of things going against them. It's not easy to build a culture. It's not easy to build a culture, especially when it's been formerly a losing culture. But I think the Lions have built a winning culture. They took advantage of the opportunities within the NFC North, the departure of Aaron Rodgers, the abysmalness of the Chicago Bears, and the whirlwind that is Kirk Cousins led football team and the Vikings. So I mean, I think they're poised to win the NFC North, and I think they'll be in the mix. Will they do it in the playoffs? We'll see. But I think you got to put some respect on their name because they're one of the best teams in the NFC. Are they the best team in the NFC? Truly, probably not. But today is the best day to give them their respect.
Okay, yeah, today is an excellent day to give them the respect, but I like what you said. Can they get it done in the playoffs? And it's still one of your terms. The Lions could be a little bit of fraud propaganda if we're being real. I need to see them get it done in crunch time. But I do like what Jared Goff is doing. I believe they were missing both their starting running backs this past weekend. So definitely put some respect on the Lions and Jared Goff. T, I'm gonna kick it to you next, man. But the team, and I want you to be very objective here because the team I'm gonna ask you to put some respect on is none other than the Cleveland Browns. And I know they just gave your 49ers the first L of the season. Really, it should have been a dub. Your kicker probably would have made that kick 9 times out of 10. But it goes down in the history books as an L. The Browns have a defense that's on a historic pace right now. And they beat you guys with PJ Walker, and they were missing Nick Chubb. So, are we putting some respect on their name, or what?
Yeah, I think anytime you start talking about historic, you got to put some respect on it. Like Miles Garrett, the Hall of Famer, the whole secondary is locking down. Those guys are playing good, man. It makes me wonder why Clowney wanted to get out of there, honestly. But yeah, a lot of respect to the Browns, and I don't really like what they have on offense, even with their starters. But defense is holding them down, man. They kind of remind me of the Jets right now. Defense keeping them in games and the offense doing just enough. So you kind of got to respect that because if they get healthy and get a few guys back, that's going to be a tough matchup for anybody once it gets cold out.
Word. I heard Bosa said something to the quarterback, and he said, "Fuck you! I'm about to clap back on y'all. Can't handle this L." That's what I heard. I heard he made a racial comment.
What's racist about clap back? Like,
Nah. I heard he used. I heard he referred. I don't know. I heard he made a racist comment to the black quarterback on the other side, and they took it personally. And
Now, who's your source?
who's my source? Twitter.
He,
Oh
he,
man, we
okay,
don't
okay,
get
here,
that
here.
shit out of
This is
here.
what Scruff is referring to.
No, but actually, not even Twitter. YouTube TV.
PJ
They
PJ
mentioned
Walker did say that Nick Bosa said he said something wild, and when he was asked what exactly he said, his response was along the lines of something that somebody like him shouldn't be saying. So
Right.
you can infer from there. Nick
So
Bosa
why
does have
not
a little
say it?
history.
look, we not
That's
about
something racist, which is in line with his character
We
accusation.
call him. We call him a bitch.
we not throwing.
Call,
I'm pretty sure.
nah, say it.
I'm pretty
Say
sure
it. Just say it.
you bomb with the R on it.
No,
He ain't say it like that. You bugging the fuck out of this. Man, get the fuck out of here.
He
Get the
might have
fuck out of here.
said something racial. He might have called him a monkey or something. I don't know. He did something racial, and he pissed them off. And they said, "You know what? Fuck them boys. We about to run it up on these boys." PJ Walker said, "I know how to ball, motherfucker."
Well, they didn't really run it up. Their last drive was penalty laden. They got a great alley oop from the refs, but
Whatever.
that's neither here nor there. Any given
You
Sunday,
got to put some respect on their name today, and that's
No.
what it's about. And they had a backup quarterback, so they really had no business in that game. But they were standing on business in the fact that they said, "Yo, fuck out of here, white boy. You gonna come over here and say this wild shit in our house, like, or wherever we're at? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're an NFL team, bro. I'm PJ Walker, with all due respect. Like,
it was a perfect storm for the Browns. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had to think about the 49ers and say, hopefully three of their top four get injured. That's what happened. Not everybody except for Warner. Debo goes down. McCaffrey go down. Trent goes down. Trent said he wouldn't have played other than the fact that he didn't want the backup to have to face Myles Garrett. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
got some holes on y'all team.
IU dropped a bunch of passes. If IU catches a pass, it's 14-0. That's a totally different game. But there's one game you don't want to peek to it. Anyway, respect to the Browns. Make it to the Super Bowl so we can see our boys again.
That's a little bit unlikely, but let's keep it pushing though, because from the AFC North to the AFC East, I'm gonna toss this one to Scruff, and I gotta ask: are we gonna put some respect on the New York Jets? Very similar to the Browns, tough defense. They got their backup QB in there, Zach Wilson. I know you were done with the Jets after Aaron Rodgers got his Achilles injury, but they just recently gave your Philadelphia Eagles their first loss, similar to T's 49ers. So I'm going to ask for the same objectivity that T just gave us here. Are we putting any respect on the Jets, and do we think Zach Wilson can really turn this ship around?
First of all, it's not Zach Wilson doing anything. All right, it's the New York Jets defense. I'll put some respect on the New York Jets defense. I put some respect on the fact that they have some heart in their locker room. I'm not going to put too much respect on Zach Wilson. I'm not going to let you do what the mainstream media does, which is give this man, you know what I'm saying, this young man the glory of saying that he did everything. Nah, it was that defense that stood up. Shout out to that secondary that gave Jalen Hurts struggle. You know what I'm saying, and probably one of the worst games I've seen him play as a pro, including his rookie season. So shout out to the Jets defense and the coordinator, the pass rush. They were making him move out of the pocket on like 3-man pass rushes, simple shit, and he wasn't comfortable in the pocket, and you could tell. And you know that's why they lost. So no, put some respect on the Jets defense, but it got nothing to do with Zach Wilson.
Nah, that's a fair take. That's a fair take. The Jets definitely have a nice defense, and even though Zach Wilson's playing better than he was he was playing so bad before that it's not like you could do much better. But yeah, let's keep it pushing on the NFL topics though, man. I'm gonna switch it up here. I'm gonna make some statements, and I want you guys to tell me if this statement is true or if this statement is false. So this could get a little wild. We're gonna get some real opinions here. T, this one's for you. Tyreek Hill on the Miami Dolphins is a legitimate MVP candidate. True or false?
True. He's the most dynamic player in the league. He's on pace to, I don't know what he's on pace for, maybe 2,000 yards. He said he's going to get 2,000 yards.
No,
He's on pace.
2,600 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
2,600.
2,000 crazy, but I mean, he's clearly a game changer. He's clearly the like I said, bro. What we're witnessing is MVP for sure. If the Dolphins make the playoffs, I don't know how you and he gets 2,000 yards. I don't know how you get around that.
All right, Scruff, same question.
False. The opposite of what T said, bro. That's not true. It's not true.
What's not true?
Repeat the question.
Tyreek Hill MVP candidate.
Yeah, he's not an MVP candidate, with all due respect. He is the best receiver in the NFL. I'll say that. He is the best receiver in the NFL, but he's not an MVP candidate because that's not the way the MVP works. Tua is an MVP candidate. Tyreek Hill is not. That's
I
the
mean,
way.
But even to T's point though, if Tyreek Hill does something historic, you don't think that could push him ahead of a regular QB season or
No,
a non-historic QB season?
no, because Tua is number one in every category that matters for quarterbacks, and it's a quarterback-driven league. So, and it's not like he's only passing to Tyreek Hill. You know, Jalen Waddle's a dog too. You know, despite people trading him for what.
Mm,
Jalen Waddle is a dog as well, but Tyreek Hill is doing something that hasn't really been seen. And it's not like Tua's throwing these balls deep downfield. A lot of these are like little screen plays or drags or slants that Tyreek is just taking 80 yards.
We've seen historic seasons from wide receivers. You know, recently.
That's true. That's true.
Recently was last year. Didn't Jamar Chase set a record last year?
no,
He
he
It
went.
might
didn't.
it might have been the year before, one of them,
Whatever.
It
but
was,
He didn't win
it probably
MVP.
canceled.
Wasn't even in the conversation. You know, and anything about any major receivers that have won MVP in the past, I've never seen it done. So it's not going to happen now. So he's not MVP.
all
MVP
right.
quarterback award.
Okay, so
Crazy.
no, I'm here to argue. Fuck all of that. Uh, talking about he's not. This dude has 814 yards. You know how much Tua has passing yards?
I know you're going to tell me because you're all about the numbers.
Tua has thrown for 1,876 yards. So who's Tua throwing? Who's the next guy? Tell me who you think and how many yards
Hold on,
Waddle,
what's space for?
and how many yards has Waddle received?
maybe 500, 600.
Not even close. 296 yards. How
Yeah.
is this guy not an MVP? How is this guy not
Yeah.
an MVP?
He is the offense, the passing offense.
This guy has 6 touchdowns. For the last, basically, he scored a touchdown all 6 weeks. And he didn't do that against the Patriots. But the fact that he's scoring TDs, he might even break the single season record for receiving touchdown from a receiver, as well as. And you know
That would
what makes it so more? You know what makes it so more impressive is that Megatron was an anomaly because of his height. He was able to just beat out any kind of corners. But this is a short dude getting slants and running it up. It's not like these are deep passes, as to what Rome alluded earlier. These are literally short passes. This guy is MVP. It's like what you said, Tua's only MVP considered is because he's a quarterback. But if Tyreek Hill isn't in the conversation, I don't know what to say.
I mean, Tyreek Hill catches flies and things too, but also you might have to throw it underneath when you got safety help and guys backing up off you because they're scared you're going to blow by him. And Mike McDaniels runs the Shanahan system. You get the ball to your
Did you wish Devo Samuels this fast?
same thing. Get the ball to your guys in space and let them create. You know what I'm saying? Whether Debo and Ayuk and those guys break tackles, Tua and Waddle, Mostert and those guys do it with speed. Like different styles, same philosophy.
Facts, big facts. All right, let's keep it on Miami though. Another true or false. Both teams 5-1. The Chiefs are obviously the reigning champions in the NFL. But based off what we've seen this season, the Chiefs are trending down. The Dolphins are trending up. So true or false? The Dolphins are the best team in the AFC. Jump ball.
False. I'll say
False.
false. I'll say simple false because you still got Patrick Mahomes you got to play. That defense has to see Patrick Mahomes. That Miami defense has to see Patrick Mahomes. And then on top of that, you talking about the Chiefs. I didn't think the Chiefs defense would be this legit, but they're a decent defense. And I think they'll just have enough. They have a better defensive caller over here in Kansas City than in Miami. And I still got to ride that Patrick Mahomes wave.
I'm going to say I'm going to lean Dolphins. And I do like the Chiefs have a great defense. They got even better when Chris Jones came back. But Miami, so it was a situation where they're not really ever out of a game. And I mean, history says, right, Mahomes is going to be there. He's going to be around. He's going to be in the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. But it's looking like the Dolphins will be too. And I feel like if it's a shootout, I feel like the bigger clip is Miami. I never seen Pat throw for 70 points. You know what I'm saying? Like Pat ain't never dropped 70 on anybody. I don't even think he's had the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? If Pat get to 40, 50, we like that's Mahomes. But I don't know, man. Dolphins are explosive. I'm not saying they're unbeatable. In the wintertime, some of that speed gets taken away. But the way the game is played now and the way the game is officiated when you can't really hit these small, fast guys, Miami might make a statement in the playoffs.
We will get to see this matchup week 9. I do believe it's in like Germany or something like that. But the Dolphins Chiefs will be an interesting matchup. Scruff, go ahead and jump in here.
Ruined a perfectly good football game, putting it in Germany. It's not gonna be the same, like But anyway, something about that good old American there. It ain't the same, bro. German's gonna be out. They're gonna be coming for me now. But yeah, no. I'm gonna go no. The Dolphins aren't the best team in the AFC. I think if you look at it from a binary situation, if you're comparing them to the Chiefs, they definitely have more weapons than the Chiefs, right? And if you're gonna look at it like that, you're basically coming down to the weapons or the quarterback who you can count on to get on the right side of the dub. But I think if you are looking at it as a binary conversation, you're being led astray. As the Mr. Big Leaguer would say, the good Mister. But because the Bills did just beat the Dolphins, you know what I'm saying? So right, the Bills beat the Dolphins, right?
Yep, pretty bad too. I think it was like 48-20.
I didn't forget that. So I think the Bills could still beat the Dolphins if it came down to it. I think the Bills could beat the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs could beat the Bills. I think the Ravens could beat the Bills. You know what I mean? I think there's 4 teams right now that could win the AFC, and I think it's really any given Sunday out of those teams. It's wide open, in my opinion.
It's a little wide open. I kind of feel like the Dolphins are the clear favorites. Even despite that loss to the Bills, they've basically dominated every team. I mean, they've scored 30 plus points or more in every game. So basically, if you're going to play the Dolphins, you're looking at having to score 5 or more touchdowns to even be in the game.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like week 6, week 7. Like none of this shit means anything if you're not doing it in week 19, week 20. You know what I mean? Like it's about getting hot at the right time. Right now, yeah, they're hot. This ain't the playoffs, my boy.
I wouldn't even say they've peaked yet, to be honest, because that loss to the Bills was embarrassing, to be honest. So I don't even think the Dolphins have peaked. I wouldn't say the Eagles have peaked or even the 49ers. I think we do have a lot of football left, and I think it'll be interesting what happens down the stretch.
Yeah, it's a long season. Teams still got a lot of things to develop and you get there. So I'm just saying, like, teams is not who they gonna be yet. And I've seen teams get hot, be like the best. Matter of fact, every year for the last couple of years, I've seen teams run out and be the hottest team in football in the first 8 games, and they were totally non-factors when it came to the playoffs in that year. So I'm not sold on anything until I see it. And
I mean, to be fair, the Eagles came out hot last year and rode that all the way to the Super Bowl. So
okay, well that's few and far between. I say
I don't remember the Chiefs having bad starts either, and they end up in the AFC Championship all the time. But But I mean, to your point, Scruff, are there any teams looking bad right now that we think might turn it around? I mean, who we got at 2 and 3?
I like
Saints.
Well, first of all, the Bengals were bad, and now they're already turning it around. So that's one.
Go ahead, T.
I like the Steelers to turn it around. Their biggest hurdle is the quarterback position, but I think that's a team that will probably hit their stride as the season goes on. Just their style of football, I think they'll make a little run at it. Every year we see a team make a little baby run. Are they the real deal? Are they not? I think that'll be the Steelers. That's a low pick. I'm a ride with them. I ain't switching like Scruff. We riding with, you know what I'm saying, day 1 picks.
No, I like that though, because the Steelers are in a tough division, but they already got 2 wins in that division. So I mean, that's important to get early on. If you have division games, you want to stack those as quick as you can.
So I just realized why the Jets won this week. It's because I flip flopped on
That's oh,
Yeah, it's that karma.
had a
They were like,
point.
oh yeah, okay, yeah. Don't mess with us.
Y'all
You gonna
got
flip on us? Okay, bet.
I mean, but I do think with at least the Eagles, what you did see is you see with a lot of quarterbacks. If you can get to most quarterbacks, I don't care if you're Tom Brady to Johnny Football. If you can apply pressure without having to blitz, it's going to be a long day for most offenses.
definitely. That's the key. If you can get there with 4 to 5 rushers, then your money.
Yeah, but I say that to say we see some teams that can't protect their quarterbacks, and people are killing the quarterbacks and saying that they can't play. But the reality is, most quarterbacks can't play without decent conditions. Maybe not ideal, but like without decent conditions, a run game, blocking up front, things like that. So
Yeah.
even
Well, one
quarterbacks,
thing I've definitely noticed about the game of football in general is they've stopped developing top tier offensive linemen. Like we see these pass rushers, we see these inside defensive tackles that are the Aaron Donalds of the world. You get an Aaron Donald, now everybody makes that the prototype. So you want a player with that type of physique, that type of style, even if they're not at that level. But you don't hear too much about a top tier center. They're not recreating Jason Kelsey. You know what I mean? Nobody's looking for the next top left guard. And due to that fact, I feel like we have a ton of stud defensive linemen who just dominate the offensive linemen because nobody's really developing them along the way.
I agree and disagree. I think some teams do look for the next so and so. I think the good teams do. Like, with all due respect, I think the Eagles do that. I think we have the next Jason Kelsey. We drafted Cam Jurgens. He's supposed to be the next Kelsey. We have a guy like Lane Johnson. We brought in Maliata. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to keep building those guys up. And worth noting on Jets thing, the Eagles thing. The Eagles haven't won many games without Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson went down in that game. If Lane Johnson doesn't play the next game, I would say it's a toss-up game.
Rome, I think you make a good point. And it makes me think about youth football and all the way up middle school, high school. The way the defensive ends and outside linebackers train, as opposed to how people train linemen. The linemen, they want a fat guy that can move, sure, but defensive ends and even some defensive tackles, bro, they're training linebackers now. They're
Yeah. In a nutshell, the defensive linemen are much better athletes than the offensive linemen. Your defensive tackles, you used to want to get a fat guy. Now you want to get an Aaron Donald type. So you want an athlete. You don't want somebody that's just big and gonna plug it. Vince Warfel type. You know what I mean? You want somebody that can still get after the quarterbacks because the quarterbacks are mobile. The game of football, the offensive line has to catch back up with the defensive line.
That's a great point. The Hainsworths, the Wilfords, those guys are guards now.
Yeah. Facts though.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, but now I did want to touch on before we move on from football though. We do have that big matchup next week, Dolphins Eagles, man. I know in the pick 'em we're gonna pick the spread, so I'm not too worried about that. But I do want to get y'all's picks in here real quick on who wins that Sunday night matchup. It's in Philly. G, who you taking?
I'm not gonna roll for no fucking dirty ass pigeon. The fuck? What kind of blasphemous shit with that? I'll set myself on fire before I say some shit like that. You know how happy I was to root for something that's green, that wasn't Boston related. Shit, man. I turned to a Jets fan for like at least 5 minutes of my life watching those last 5 minutes. I look at that shit. I know Nick Hairline receded another inch watching that fucking game. Ha ha! And then now I get to say it here. Ha ha! I'm not gonna say go Jets neither. Fuck all that. But nah, I'm gonna take Miami on this.
All right, and G, while I got you, are you gonna Venmo me my money, Cash App me my money? Are you waiting for this weekend, or Or you gonna wait till the next time we play y'all? I mean, we can wait till the end of the
Oh, we
season.
play y'all bum ass niggas. Oh shit! And I bet we tie that game too, you bums. Watch you bums let us tie you bums. Holy shit! I know we're bums, but if you guys let us tie that game, I mean, get the fuck away from me. It's gonna be just a bum fest around here.
Nah, we probably gonna run it up on y'all.
Get
T,
the
who you
fuck
got
out of
in
here.
the Philly Dolphins game?
Oh man, it's a tough one, man. Philly won. I would have went with I'm still leaning Miami, but a wounded dog, man. Philly got a chip on their shoulder after that loss, man. That's a game they know they wasn't supposed to lose that game. So to drop 2 at this point in the season, I don't know, man. I don't know, but at the same time, Miami, man, I don't know, bro. That's honestly
It's a
what's the
tough one.
spread on that?
Hold on, let me double check the spread. I mean, I tend to agree with you, Scruff, because before I was definitely or T, I was definitely leaning Miami. But after the Eagles took that L, I feel like they're in line to
They
win.
got it at 2-2 for Philly. The over under is 52 though.
I mean,
Shit.
I'm definitely more inclined to pick the more physical team versus a finesse team. But I was alive for the greatest show on turf, and they beat a lot of physical teams too. So I'm going to lean Miami just for the fact that I truly believe Miami's the best team in the AFC right now, and I don't think Philly's the best team in the NFC. So I'm gonna lean. It could go either way, but I'm gonna lean Miami.
Scruff.
I mean, I like the fact that Philly just lost the game. I see the team that was playing pretty good, but not really playing that great. In my opinion, they were kind of like doing just enough to get a dub. I feel like this is one of them. And they had a big conversation in the locker room after the loss. The leaders spoke. Coach didn't even speak. I feel like they're gonna come around. They're gonna turn the game around. Also, in Philly, Lane Johnson is pushing the play, which I like that. If Lane Johnson's gonna play, that could change the outcome of the game. And Jalen Hurts going against Tua. I don't think I think he remembers, being benched. I think that's the type of shit that drives him. So I think the Eagles are going to blow him out.
So what's your
Woo!
by how much?
Blow them
By how much?
out. Give me a score.
10 points or more.
Okay, so you think this is why you were Tyreek. What you're trying to boost yourself up. You're trying to hype yourself up. I see what's going on now. So you think that the Dolphins, who I just mentioned have scored 30 points or higher in every W that they've had this season, y'all are gonna beat them by 10 points.
Yeah, they can score 30. They can score 30 and still get blown out, my boy. The Eagles about to put up numbers this week, bro. The offense wasn't clicking this week, though. The offense is going to be it's going to be on all cylinders next week. Now, what's the defense going to look like? That's the big question, and that's what I'm concerned with. Actually, with Philly is the secondary right now. I got injuries in the secondary against the best passing team in the NFL, according to you.
Interesting. I'm concerned with Philly's offense. They got a new OC this year, right?
Yeah, Brian Johnson. It's something that people haven't talked about, but I'll shed some light for y'all. I shouldn't even do this for y'all because y'all gonna be taking it and run with it for the rest of the season. But 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? The year the Eagles won the playoffs against the Buccaneers. Nick Sirianni was the head coach, and our coordinator was Shane Steichen. Sirianni was calling the plays, and then halfway through the season, they switched over to Shane Steichen. At that point, the Eagles went on a run. They won a bunch of games in a row, made it to the playoffs, lost to the Buccaneers in the first round. The following year, they continued on with Shane Steichen calling the plays for the full 16 games, 17 games, however many games it is, up to the playoffs and Super Bowl. Shane Steichen gets the head coaching job in Indiana. You know what I'm saying? This year, Brian Johnson is the offensive coordinator. They've been going through some play calling situations between him and Sirianni. They're still trying to figure it out. With that being said, they're still trying to figure it out. You could tell they're still trying to figure it out. The team is still finding their identity offensively. It's not the same team, even though there's still many of the same pieces.
Nah, that's definitely a fair take. That you can, like you said, you can see that they're going through a transition on offense. But with that said, I don't see how that leads you to the conclusion of blowing out the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill is healthy, bruh. Jalen Waddle is healthy. Y'all aren't blowing anybody out. If anything, it's gonna be in the opposite, the opposite way. They might beat y'all by 10 or 20.
Bruh. I'm sure you said the same thing against the Bills, who he was ravenously hating on Josh Allen 4 weeks ago, and then he went in there.
I still think Jalen Hurts is better.
You was hating on the boy, and then he went in there and he cleaned up on the Dolphins, who we all thought was the best team in football. Just remember, it just like I said in fantasy football, stay humble. You know what I'm
saying? Josh Allen has definitely turned it around. You know what I mean? Since his week 1 debacle. But he's the guy that we look forward to get it done in the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see.
This is any given Sunday. This is the NFL. Stay humble now. The Dolphins can be beat. The Eagles can be beat. And the fact that the Eagles just got beat is to me is leaning into the fact that the Eagles are going to come ready for a beatdown.
Go ahead, T.
You think Jalen Hurts is better than Josh Allen?
I would take Jalen Hurts before I would take Josh Allen. Yes.
Like as a husband.
Yeah, as my starting quarterback.
No way.
If I was starting a franchise and you told me I needed a quarterback, and Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts were the only two available, I would take Jalen Hurts.
Josh Allen is superior to Jalen Hurts in everything. Everything.
Except protecting the ball, which is like the most important thing for my QB to do. Like that's really what it boils down to. Jalen Hurts had a terrible game this last week. We can cherry pick that game and say, he turned it over. I even said that too. That was one of his worst performances. Normally, Jalen Hurts is very careful with the ball. He does take deep shots, but he takes them very calculated. Unlike Josh Allen, who thinks he's Brett Favre or whoever and can just chuck it up there, whenever. And when Josh Allen does that, he's not who we've seen the last few weeks. When he protects the ball, though, he's who y'all say he is.
Okay, I'll give you that. Hurts probably has a higher IQ. He does protect the ball. That is winning football from a quarterback. I retract my statements. It's not you made your case, not as, but I'm still taking Josh Allen every day of the week. Like, give me the guy with the tools, bro. Like, period. At that position, actually,
Uncle Umar shaking his head at you, T. Because I see the brainwashed ways that you picking the superior quarterback, Josh Allen, he's superior in all the facets. I disagree. I disagree. They're like the same player. They're the same player, except Josh Allen's way more reckless with the ball, which in effect sometimes it can be more productive. But to that effect, I'll take Jalen Hurts. He makes better decisions.
Josh Allen is a bigger quarterback, bigger arm, much more decisive. Now, that decisiveness might be, I'm going to throw the ball in the triple. he might not. But I don't want to hang too much on this conversation, but I do think that's an interesting conversation for the future as these guys' careers play out.
All I know is there's not a play in Josh Allen's playbook where they're saying is illegal, you know what I'm saying, because he's so good at it. So only thing that's illegal is some of the fucking throws that he makes to the other team.
The tush push is crazy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
You know why that play should really be illegal? It's basically a Jason Kelsey handoff. Like you might as well let your center keep the ball because like that's really what it is.
No. It's Kelsey, but it's also a guy squatting 600 pounds, moving the pile.
Yeah.
Because other teams try it. And
they don't got quarterbacks like that. That's the difference.
Bro, people be getting hurt trying to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just got it. It's almost like in the NBA with the hack shack. Like, I don't like it.
Wait, Jalen's squatting 600 pounds. Damn.
All right, but yeah, let's keep it pushing though. Speaking of the NBA, man, we got some NBA topics because the season is actually upon us. And I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do want to get some of these quick thoughts and takes, and I want to hear what y'all got to say just about the NBA in general. So before I get to the questions I got, since the season is upon us, what's on y'all's mind, man? What's standing out to you on the eve of this NBA season? G, I'm gonna start with you.
I don't want to be Captain Obvious, but his name starts with a V. His last name initials a W. I want to see Victor. I want to see him. I want him to come out with my prediction. Him scoring, averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 8 assists. I want to see all of that greatness. I want to see this kid be the phenomenal guy that, like they've been saying, he's going to be. I can't wait to see the Popovich of old come back and take the league by storm with a bunch of foreign players again. That's what I want to see. I want to see Victor. Fuck all that shit I'm gonna watch with Milwaukee. Fuck the Knicks. First of all, I say it again. Fuck the Knicks. One more time. Fuck the Knicks. But I can't wait to see Victor play this shit. And if anything, that's the reason why I bought the league pass this year to catch the Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the NBA loves to hear that. G, I can tell you that. That's exactly why they want big players like this. T, I'm gonna toss it to you, man. What's on your mind as the NBA season gets started?
I mean, G hit the nail on the head, but aside from Big Vic, I just think it would be cool, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I think it would be cool if all the young phenoms stay healthy. Chet, Zion, Wembanyama. I really want to see who rises out of that crop. You know what I'm saying? Pause that. But that's all I want to see. The integration of talent, because LeBron last leg, KD last leg. You know, the staples. You know, the guy Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? These guys they're not getting younger. So I mean, Luka's Luka, but I want to see who arises. I mean, all these young guys that just got Twins, Scoot. I really want to see the young guys usher in. And what I'm hoping is we see basketball revert back to like the 90s, where every team had a dog or two. Every team.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that, man. That's when I enjoy the NBA the most. And one of the young players you said, Zion, that's who I was thinking of. We all know the drama that he had off the court. I'm really hoping that he can have a solid to great season on the court, so that all that seems like a complete afterthought, and we can focus on that man's basketball career. But Scruff, what's on your mind as the season gets underway?
I gotta give it to these two gentlemen. They nailed it. You know, the young talent crossover. I saw a stat that was like the top 10 players in the NBA, and they ranked them, and they had LeBron and AD in 9 and 10. And, you know, I think the media did them a favor when they put them in at 9 and 10, because like they not really 9 and 10, bro. Maybe LeBron is, but
So
barely.
wait, name 5 better players right now, players than LeBron James.
I'm not going to do this with you, but it was 9 and 10.
What?
9 and 10, meaning that they were in the top 10, but barely. You know what I'm saying? Meaning
So name 8 players better than LeBron James right now.
Giannis, Luka, Jokic, there's plenty.
No, name them. Go ahead. You only named 3.
I mean, that's 3.
Hold on, I gotta think. Giannis, Luka, Jokic, Embiid.
Steph Curry.
Embiid.
No, Embiid don't count. I'm not putting Embiid over LeBron James.
What? Okay.
Well,
That was
bugging.
The man don't play 60 games a year, bro. The man only plays 52.
You ready, G? Jokic, right? Jokic. We can all agree on Jokic, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Steph Curry.
Yep.
Luka.
Yep.
Nah.
Yes.
Fuck no. Jason Tatum.
Kevin Durant.
Yes.
No.
Devin
Yes.
Booker.
Yes.
No.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Jimmy Butler.
No. No.
LeBron's probably in that 5 to 8 range, honestly.
No.
Well, all I know is I named 12 guys. So
You're named 12. You
12.
barely got him to.
I said he wasn't top 10.
If LeBron's name wasn't LeBron, you wouldn't draft him right now. You know what I'm saying? Like if we say this guy's going to get these stats, he's going to play these amount of games, you wouldn't put him in the top 10.
So what are LeBron
Bruh.
James stats? What were the stats last year? If you scored anything over 26 points, this man is already top five.
Bro averaged 28 points last year, bro. And you're telling me that I'm not gonna take a player. If you said player X is gonna get you 28 points a game, bruh.
I'm not taking player X that doesn't play the whole season. Team barely, like he's not.
He averaged 28, 8, and 6, bruh. And we're just gonna discard him completely.
I ain't even trying to make this a LeBron hate session. It's not that, bro. It's not that.
Son, you just named Embiid and you just named KD. Both of them are guys that don't play the whole season.
How many games did Embiid play?
That's them. I ain't listening to these fools. All I'm saying is there's a lot of players good in the NBA right now.
Embiid,
it's a lot of good young players in the league. And the guys that you thought were the best players, they're low-key passing it off to these other guys that are about to take it off to the next level.
Yeah.
LeBron is not about to
that's
be the best
facts.
player in the league this year, bro. He's
In
not
the
going to be in the top 5.
bro, I just watched the playoffs and Roy Hachimura was the best player on the Lakers. I'm not listening to the LeBron stuff, bro.
I'm not listening to you when you talk about LeBron James, man. We all know you're a LeBron James hater.
Bro, 28, 8, and 6 is cool when your team's winning. It's
T,
not
just
cool.
say it on the show, T. When you played against him in high school, he dunked on you. Your family didn't talk to you for 2 weeks. Your mom didn't cook you your favorite breakfast or dinner, and I can understand this hatred you have for the man.
Well, I'm gonna give you a real fact. I never played against LeBron, but I promise you, I would have locked LeBron up.
Now we going off into fan fiction, bro.
In what bizarro world did you do this in?
We had a perfectly logical conversation here, and now G looking like he right because you said that.
Now y'all you better look. This is all basketball community. Y'all better do your history. Y'all better do y'all goal.
Bro, this is the peach soju. This is what that is.
I'll say Carmelo could have done nothing with LeBron. I would have locked him up.
I'll tell you what, and I'll say this. I'm not going to speak on that, but back to the conversation we talking about the younger players. Like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I know y'all love LeBron. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander this year, if you were building a team this year, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a better player than LeBron James this year.
But that's not the question being asked. The question's being asked right now. LeBron James is in the top 5 player.
SGA's not better. LeBron's not a top 5 player. No.
Nah, he in the same category as SGA though. Facts. He in the same category as Butler.
I'm not as high as SGA and Jimmy Butler as you guys, but
I mean SGA one of the best guards in the league, bro.
SGA is really efficient. It's a lot.
If Jimmy Butler spanked you guys, that you guys had to go get my man's pause.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Damian, yes.
Yeah,
Damian Lillard's a pretty good player too, but he's not top 10 right now.
Hey, so
He's getting old too. For real, he spent his whole year.
Since we're on the topic of LeBron falling off.
He's not falling off.
Before we move on, do y'all have any hopes for the Lakers this season? Any expectations?
Yeah, top 5 team in the West.
I don't know. I don't know, bro.
They were top 5 last year. What did they add to make them top 5 this year? Dwight Howard?
They ain't do shit this year.
Dwight Howard makes them a top 5.
Dwight Howard's not in the Lakers.
Oh, I don't know where he went. I thought he left.
What year is this?
What the
You talking about the bubble,
Howard,
motherfucker?
right? Where did he go?
Dwight Howard, he in.
Yeah, no, I
I thought Dwight came
I
back.
don't expect too much from LA either.
Yeah, I thought Dwight was back from overseas. That's my mistake.
He worked out with the Warriors. He didn't get signed though.
I thought he got signed. My bad. I thought he was in Cali. I thought it was the Lakers, but no, that's not. The Lakers are not a top 5 team. Like I said, I just watched the same roster, and Roy Hachimura was the best player. Then I look, and they're talking about he's got to compete for a rotational spot at power forward. Like, bro, they don't know what to do with that team. That team is not going to beat Joker. They're probably going to struggle with the Mavericks. They're not going to beat the Suns. Shoot.
They're definitely not beating the Suns.
They're not going to be a top. They're not going to be a 1 or 2 or 3 seed, but they might be in that 4 or 5 conversation. I think Denver still runs the West right now. I think Denver runs the West, and I think that the Warriors are going to be in the conversation, and I think that the Kings are going to be in the conversation. And of course, I should have mentioned the Suns. Actually, the Suns might actually potentially win the West too. I'd say that Denver, and the Suns are in the top tier right now.
I think the Spurs are going to be in the playoffs.
I think they'll make the playoffs potentially. We'll see.
Bro, the Lakers
and the play in at the very least.
The Lakers and the Warriors are the problem. Like, you had it when we were in high school. Right now, you know what I'm saying? You still look deep, but like it's a lot of looking goods out there. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers and the Warriors not the cream of the crop no more. The game is changing.
Yeah, great. I agree. I think the game is changing. I think with the new CBA, you're gonna see it more. Teams like Denver that's building their team up, they gonna really be nice. And I got a couple teams I want to throw out there. Fuck all this Lakers talk. This guy G, trying to make it a Laker LeBron thing. Like, it's not that, bro. What I would like to focus on is some teams that are going to be under the radar this year that are going to be really good. I think the Thunder are going to be a team that you're going to really hate to play them every night. I'll tell you that.
How's Chad? He looking good?
Chet is his name, but he looks great.
It's Chad.
He looks great.
He
looked great. He looked great against Victor Wembanyama. Matter of fact, I think he got the dub. As a matter of fact,
it's Chad.
It's Chet. Come on, bro.
Chad.
Come on, bro. Don't,
he looks like it.
Another team I think that's worth watching. In the East, bro, no one's talking about them. Indiana. Indiana's got a hell of a team, bro. With all due respect, Tyrese Halliburton is one of the best players in the NBA right now.
Let's not forget to give us honorable mentions for Bryce, because you know how Bryce is going to tell you the first 2 months of the NBA season, it's the Wizards, it's the fucking Wizards, it's the fucking Wizards.
Watch. They would. The Wizards are going to be like the number of the 5 right now. If the playoffs were to end today, the Wizards would be in the playoffs.
Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 weeks before Christmas, and those are Bryce's words.
The Wizards do not make my team my mention of sleeper teams. Sleeper teams this year: Indiana Pacers in the East. I want to throw out another team: Orlando Magic in the East. I think they got a nice little roster. I think they'll be a playoff team potentially. Paolo, Fultz, Franz Wagner. He was killing it in the Olympics, man. And I guess not really a sleeper team, but they were a playoff team last year. But I think this team could potentially be running the West if things shake out properly, which is the Kings. Now watch out for the Kings and the Pelicans.
Nah, I think the East isn't that entertaining. I mean, you got Boston, you got Milwaukee, you got Philly. That's probably it as far as who's coming out of that conference.
No, and don't forget Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami.
Not about just who's coming out. I'm saying, like, if you got League Pass and the Pacers is on, turn it on. That's
no. There's some exciting young teams. Like, I'm really excited for the next 2 to 3 years of basketball, especially because I think the talent distribution is going to be spread a lot more evenly. But I think the West is a lot more wide open than the East. The West has some. Bro, we don't know what we're going to get from the Suns. We don't know if Zion stays healthy. We don't know what we're getting from the Pelicans. So I really think the the West is what you really want to watch, man. I'm not sold on the Kings, but they do have some talent. But don't hide your face, buddy.
All right. Any other NBA takes y'all want to get off real quick?
For me, it's going to be the Clippers. How healthy could Kawhi and Paul George, and will James Harden end up leaving the 76ers? That's my one of my want to see where the leagues goes on with that, and then also with DeMar DeRozan, it's are the Bulls going to trade him out of there?
Bro,
So,
if Harden makes his way to the Clippers to play with Russ, Paul, Kawhi, that's going to be a tough team, man. But we'll see how that. They're going to be like Expendables, but they're going to be tough.
he said
Man,
Yeah.
expendables.
the Clippers, bro. Clippers fucking up, bro. I'll tell you what, Clippers fucking up, bro. I tell you why they can't really trade too much when it comes to James Harden because they really fucked themselves over when they did that Paul George deal. They gave them boys like 6 first-round picks for Paul George, and they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is much higher upside player for the next 10 years. Paul George about to be on his way out. Both them knees is about to be done. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi Leonard been done. James Harden, he's one stop away from China, bro. That team is not going to do shit.
All right.
That's
Hey,
funny.
shout out to be in the comments, man. A healthy Zion equals more Myra Mills. So I'm gonna use that to toss it to this last topic before we get out of here, man. Fellas, would you rather have a side chick issue like a Myra Mills, or would you rather be in a long term relationship with a Jada Pinkett Smith type? Which scenario do you think is more detrimental? Jump ball.
So you said which one would I prefer, or which one I don't want
Yeah.
to be in?
Either or. Which one would you absolutely avoid, and how would you maneuver the other?
Oh, I want to be with the throat god. Whoever's the throat goddess. I'm not gonna lie, I could live with that crazy bitch anytime. And on top of that, you're not gonna be dealing with her. I'm like, all right, but like you exposed yourself. There's a difference between someone exposing themselves and someone exposing us thing. I'm not all about this us thing. Like I'll be damned someone writes a hotel book and then tell the world, yeah, we weren't with each other, and that was a surprise. All this other yada yada stuff, and it's just the different. And you can't do nothing to see the mother of your kids. No, I can't do that. I told you fellas not too long ago. I'm misogynistic as hell. I would have cursed that bitch out on live. I like, bitch, what's wrong with you? Why you gonna do some shit like that? Gonna hurt my heart in front of the world. Bitch, you know I love you. I'm punching, slapping people for you on TV. What? Nah, I can't do that. I would have rage. It would be raging me. I'd be ripping my shirt like I'm Hulk Hogan.
All
I'm trying to
right.
choke something.
So G's not going for the long term, putting the business in the street. But Miss Mills definitely put some information out there too, just a little bit more raunchy type. Uh, so
Exactly.
so
I need to throw go in my life. Like I could live with that. Like bitch,
so
shut up.
Scruff, what
Come love
what
me.
what which scenario would you say is a little bit more damaging to a man's psyche?
The Jada situation. I think when you're young and the young man's world, you playing the young man's game. You could deal with them little chicken heads. You know what I'm saying? You could deal with the Jones that's gonna blow your shit up, social media. Maybe even fuck your car up. Whatever else comes along with that, right? But you could go home, man. It's a side chick. You know what I'm saying? You could go home. You could block her. There's always aftermath. Eventually, the shit will cool down, right? But the home, my good brothers, that's where a man finds his peace, man. A man finds his peace at home. You know what I'm saying? Proverb says, "A good wife is the most precious treasure that a man can find." Jada is not that. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. Um, Tore down a good man. You know, tore down a good man. Will Smith was on top of the world, man. And that man is torn. to pieces. Obviously, he has to take some blame on that as well, but don't do that. Don't do that. Another wise man once said, "Never entertain a cantankerous woman." Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom.
Now,
And for those
please break that up in syllables and the origin of definition, please.
cantankerous, bad-tempered, argumentative, and uncooperative. It is what it is, fellas. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, bro. But like Jada was all of those things, bro. Don't ignore the signs, bro. Don't ignore the signs. This is way more detrimental to have a woman like that in your household, raising your kids, you know what I'm saying, destroying your life and your reputation and taking away your peace. You know what I'm saying? That is the ultimate. It's the ultimate demise, bro. That a woman could do to a man, or that anything could do to a man. Like in like really. So bad move. Way worse. It's way worse.
T, jump in here.
No, it's
Um,
fine.
I mean, I think Mariah Mills is probably the easier situation to manage. Um, I do want to say a few things about this Will and Jada nonsense. Uh, One thing is, I kind of said this. I don't know. I don't think I said it on the show. I probably tweeted it or something. But like when they were doing the red table talks and all that, I just felt like Will and Jada were both liars. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they were both lying about the relationship. One thing we don't get from this situation is we don't get Will's side of it, and we don't get Jada's um, gripes with Will. You know what I'm saying? Media's been picking Jada apart, but just from what I've seen, typically when there's a toxic woman involved, there's a toxic man too. Maybe it's law of attraction. So I don't know if Will drove her to this. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. Odds would say that in my mind, Jada's probably been a, as good wife as Will is a husband. You know what I'm saying? They probably were equal pairs, equally yoked, and that's why Will isn't shaming her. If Will wasn't worse, 9 times out of 10, the man's worse, but I don't know. But what I will say is I don't like the optics of what Jada's doing because it's unnecessary. And I'm gonna get real preachy for a second because I feel like I have to. We don't colored people, minorities. We don't have a whole lot of royalty in entertainment. I've said this before on the show. You got LeBron and his family. You got the Obamas. There's not a lot of black royalty. Will and Jada were kind of supposed to be in that same vein, but all they do is talk about their business, and I don't even think they're telling the truth about their business. That's what makes it worse. And their truth just tarnishes their image further and further and further. And I hate it for both of them. I hate it for the kids, especially Jaden, Willow. I hate it for them, but honestly, I think they both should just take a media break, bro. Just do movies, be actors, be actresses, do what y'all got to do. Nobody has to know about Tupac having alopecia.
Well,
I don't.
you bring up some great points, T, and to your point about nobody having to know. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw Will Smith's post, but he hasn't really said anything about it. He basically said he was turning his notifications off and he was on vacation, living his best life, looking extremely unbothered. Meanwhile, you got Jada who's selling her book, Worthy. I think it's in stores sometime. It might be in stores now. I don't know, but it's going to be in stores soon. Which is why she's doing all these interviews. And I don't know. Every time she does an interview, we learn something new about their relationship. But you definitely make some good points, man. I don't think that she's just doing this out the blue. I'm sure Will has done some type of dirt that hasn't been put out there. But maybe that's the secret sauce. People do dirt all the time. Maybe don't post it in an interview or talk about it on social media. There's really no reason that we even know about any of this stuff. I mean, she just be openly talking about it. I think that's the issue right there, and it's not even necessarily a right or wrong thing. But yeah, if the question was for me, I guess this is definitely more detrimental because in a lot of people's eyes, Will looks like a sucker. Will gets clowned a lot now. So I mean, it's good to see that he's not, you know what I'm saying, like shaken by it. But you know, it's still pretty tough.
Bro,
See,
Jada
I
just
don't look at him like a sucker. He is partially a sucker, but I look at him as a victim.
Jada just came out and said he used to sell like as a husband, as a partner. Uh, I don't care what I've done to you. Like I can't control you. You can't control another human being in a relationship. That's the bottom line. So whether Will's innocent or not, like at the end of the day, Jada just needs to get offline. I do get that she's trying to sell her book, right? She needs headlines, but the Smith family don't have no money. That's what I'm curious about.
Hey, maybe that's why he ain't divorced her yet. Maybe that's why they're still only separated. Cause I mean, if we're being fair, Will Smith money and Jada Pinkett money probably a little
They're not the
like
same.
if they're not combining it, Jada might be a little chilly out there, you know.
So you think Will is trying to duck the alimony?
I don't think he's trying
Hey,
to.
it's just a
I don't know.
theory. It's just a theory.
That was. I mean, I was just saying they don't. The Will money is bigger than their money. I don't.
Definitely.
So
I'm not feeding into
if I had to bet, I'd bet they enjoy having sex with each other, but don't like each other's personalities. Like they've grown apart. If I had to bet, but I don't know.
maybe that makes sense.
Well, I'm sure we'll hear more
Uh,
about it next time she has a big
does,
interview.
does it not feel like she got some dirt on that boy?
I think she does too, and I think Will knows that. And bro, the rumors that came out a long
She
time.
probably did. She probably did.
So I'm not media takeout. I'm not Black Sports Online or nothing like that. But the rumors that came out way before Jada did Red Table Talk and all that stuff was that Will men, like men,
Yeah.
like those were the rumors. You know what I'm saying? Somehow those rumors died as of lately, but like originally those were the rumors that caused the rift. I did see a rumor from TikTok, a TikTok rumor, you know what I'm saying? Some people's favorite rumors that the split
TikTok, yeah.
that situation caused this rift, but I think this rift happened long ago.
I don't know. I don't know. It's not for me to decide either way. I say like it's a bad look for Will. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'd rather be in the Zion situation because you could bounce back. That's just some fun boy shit. You know. When he dating his next joint, he could be like, "Oh, you was messing with a porn." So, yeah, I was young. I was living it up. I was having a great time. Because oh my god, you're such a whore. Like you could recover from that, bro. Like oh my god, like you just had your wife like talking all crazy about you on TV and this, that, and the third and this happened, and then this happened, and this happened, and you just
I feel like that's
looking
something you can
crazy.
recover from too, though. Like something tells me Will's not gonna have an issue bouncing back if he hasn't already bounced back. To T's earlier point.
Bro,
He might be in private. That's the difference between what's going on. Will's being very private, and she's going on a fucking book tour.
I mean, Will slapped himself into privacy, to be honest with you. But I mean, they say it's better to love and lost than never to love at all. So I mean, Will still ended up with what I'm sure he thinks is amazing kids, and they probably are amazing kids. So I mean, at a L, I'm going to say no, but I
I'll
can
say that.
I can understand why people are looking at this way.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't call it an L either. It's just unfortunate that it's so public and it doesn't really need to be.
That's the right word.
Uh,
I'll say this.
anything else y'all want to get off?
Yeah, I do actually. When you're evaluating women, the best thing to do. This is real game. This isn't on the topic either. But the best thing to do though is evaluate their mother. And if you look at Jada's mother and you look at Jada, they looking like they on the same ranch. Not even like they far from the tree. They on the same ranch. And Willow, ironically named after a tree. You're going to watch out. You got to watch out for Willow, bro. Willow about to be her breaking somebody's heart out there, bro. Man or woman. Just be careful. Careful with Willow.
Facts, though. Facts. That is good advice from the Lions Den. All right, man. Y'all know how we end every show, man. As always, sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.